This is Salamancer. You're watching SalTV Competitive Team Fortress 2, and if this is going to be your Halloween costume, well, I commend you. The paper bag, the Saxon Hale drawing, you've done a really good job with that. Congratulations. I hope to see you soon around my Halloween parties, but this is going to be some more ESEA Open Playoff action here on King of the Hill Viaduct. This is, of course, a pro version of Viaduct, which we actually totally forgot to start off with a pug loaf, but I promise he will totally make an appearance pretty soon. But Bosch at recess here, doing some pretty good work already at the mid. I'm glad I chose this camera. Totally random. Did not look it up beforehand, but he is going crazy on the kills right now. Going for the basher. Oh, please hit this. Please hit this. Yes! Bosch, you rock! Oh, man. Okay, so this is, of course, Team Blue versus Red. Just kidding. It's actually Sunday Funday in the blue versus Playground Tactics in the red. And right now, Playground Tactics, I think the number 8 or 9 seed are already holding the point against their opponents Sunday Funday. Now, if you've been watching my channel recently, you may have noticed that, what is Typhus doing? You may have noticed that we casted a Sunday Funday game already, and that was the game where they played against the number 1 seed, but they're actually number 16 seed in this tournament, so they're basically the lowest seed possible. Excuse me, just came back from the bar. And so the number 16 seed here in the blue, Team Sunday Funday, they're already in the loser's bracket, so I'm kind of spoiling that game for you. I apologize. But incoming crits, actually, whoa, 3 kills, 1 sticky, and that, if it sounds like the name of a porno to you, well, you know, it just might be one of those awful snuff films. I don't know. But that was actually a really good crits. Didn't quite get the medic kill, but they killed so many people that it didn't matter, and there you have it. Sunday Funday going to capture the point. I was trying to talk about how this game is going, though. That this matters because it's a lower bracket, so whoever loses this gets knocked out. So we're going to see, of course, both teams have basically already lost 1 game. We're going to see whether the Playground Tactics deserve their 8th seed, or whether their opponent Sunday Funday will actually stay in the game. Sunday Funday, I mean, they did a really good job of making it a very close game against that number 1 seeded team. So they're not a bad team at all for ESEA Open standards. We'll have to see whether they can actually make this an exciting game, though. Right now we're going to watch the tree lay down a sticky trap, and of course we did see a sniper try to come out, but if you don't own a lot of the point, that sniper's not going to be very useful. It's not a good offensive class, much more of a defensive class in this position, and Sun just ran right by that sticky trap, but apparently it did not detonate and kill him, so I don't know what's happening. But Playground Tactics are going to go ahead and cap that point. And now Sun is taking some heat here from this soldier. Should be able to dodge most of these shots, but now the shotgun is out, and just one tiny little shotgun chip will kill him, so he does need to grab. There you go, getting the health kit. The rest of his team wants to push forward and keep control of the point for as long as possible, but they are going to have an uber disadvantage. Gamma right now has stayed alive, using the crits once again. And he and the rest of his team are going to be able to capture this point back very quickly. This is a scrappy round already, as we have just over 2 minutes left for the blue team, 1:30 left for the red team to win the round. It's whoever captures and holds the point for 3 minutes total will win, assuming there's no overtime, which sometimes there is. But the crits is coming in right now, and so far, oh, they do get 2 kills. That's going to be Sun and Rikachu, plus a nice soldier bomb taking down Typhus. That's the medic gone, and naming a medic after a disease, probably not the best idea. That's okay, though. Typhus does seem like a pretty good med, but there was not a lot he could do in that position, except maybe he should have actually been further back. I think maybe his pocket led him astray. I don't know what was happening there. Not sure what happened there with Fan of Angels either. Apparently he's really happy about something, but I don't know. We're going to be watching the Fable game here for just a second as the red team actually caps the point pretty quickly. Well, not too quickly, of course. They lost about a minute of time there. But Sunday Funday, you know, they held that for a minute. Now they have lost it again, and they are just evening up in the times here. Their opponents are building the Uber pretty quickly, so I'm going to assume red team has a crits as well. We'll have to find out in a minute here. Maybe watch the blue cam and see. Fievel is trying to play a screening role at the moment as the rest of her team caps the point right now. And once again, Typhus at Uber ready to go. Bosch wants to get the headshots, but that's not happening right now. And I think we're probably going to see yeah, it is going to be a crits coming in from the sweet southern guy. Not a sweet southern belle, but a sweet southern guy. Whatever, that works. And what a shot on Gamma! The first crit sticky taking down the med, and that is the goal of most crits. You want to take down the med. If you can't take down the med, well, then you have to pretty much take down the rest of the enemy team, which is what Funday did first. But some pretty sick kills coming out of Sweet Southern Guy right now. And I don't know if this is somebody I actually am supposed to know who it is. But I did promise you guys one thing at the beginning of this video. And so here it is. The dog bread. Oh, it's so cute. Okay, back to the game. Sounds like a blue team is trying to push forward onto the point. It looks like that as well, but the chokes here are just a little bit too spammy at the moment. Probably tastes like really disgusting mystery meats, and so the team Funday is having difficulty pushing through. Soldier is jumping in, maybe trying to do a little bit of damage to the mid, but not able to get it done yet. And actually, Rikachu going down. Nonetheless, a crits is popped. And so they do take down the med. They may end up losing their own, but Typhus is doing some pretty good dodging right now. And there you go, Pocket Soldier keeping Typhus alive perfectly. This is probably going to be a round going to our red team. Well, they got 10 seconds left to hold it, and it's just Gamma alive. So Gamma's going to be trying to make probably a desperation push here. But no, not even that. Just healing up the players. They are going to try to go overtime this point. And of course, their opponents know it's going to happen. But yes, there is a little bit of overtime here. It's just that the point captures very slowly, and it loses capture time at a very quick rate in overtime. So unless there's somebody on it, well, there is somebody on it right now, and they are going to maybe get the cap? No, it's just going to be Ray's left. Ray's has this Viaduct for him, and no, that is not going to be a capture. So Playground Tactics winning that round. They still have to worry about their opponents dive bombing towards the point. It will, you know, there will be another bomb coming in from this demo man, but it's not going to be enough to stop that. That was an interesting little desperation play at the end. Kind of got a little exciting there. I'm feeling a little hot under the collar, as it were. Yes. But I know Playground Tactics definitely leading 1-0 right now in this game. So they're definitely looking like they deserve their 8th seed so far in Open. But we'll see if their opponents can make the underdog story happen. Fan of Angels going for the air shots, not quite hitting them, but that's okay. You know, you got to work on that a little bit there, Fan. Well, I'm sure we'll get some of your moments of glory here in a little bit. Ray's getting a good kill there on Audrey Heartburn, not Audrey Hepburn, but Audrey Heartburn, which I'm sure is what all of her boyfriends called her. Gamma trying to keep the team pushing forward, but that's really, really dangerous territory for a med. There was way too many flank routes open. That scout almost got the kill, and then Fievel came in to save the med at the very end, which is a pretty cool thing. Typhus getting taken out. Not sure if there was a force crits there or what. And finally, the point gets captured, but it's not going to stay captured for the red team for long unless the heavy weapons guy has something to say about it. Didn't realize they had a heavy out here, but Bosch is maybe going to take the enemy team by surprise. There is an Uber here, so Bosch will probably die to this. But he's going to try to stay alive as long as possible, and that's what you want to do as the heavy. You stay alive for a long time because you get so much health. Still, they didn't buy a lot of time there. There is a sniper looking for a kill, but that's not really going to work out either. That route for the sniper just is not working for the Playground Tactics team. They really need to get him up on the high ground and try to bring him in when the enemy doesn't have the point or when they don't have so many flank routes. It's better to have him as a defensive class. Sweet Southern Guy going for the ear shots. It does hit some nice pills there against the Burrito Man. So apparently Sweet Southern Guy deciding that Burrito monopoly needs to be broken up, and the Burrito Man is going to need a new mascot. Sweet Southern Guy. Oh my gosh, I can make so many jokes right now about the Sweet Southern Guy just killing those burritos, because that is what Southern guys do. But interesting traps in the point, and this is where they want to bring out Bosch on the sniper. When they own the point and they want to make their opponents feel really bad about pushing in, really scared, I should say, about pushing in. Typhus taking a lot of hits though, and not really able to connect with the rest of the team. Still is able to escape, so that's going to be one plus side. But Funday still holding the point pretty effectively. And yet they are still down in the times. Things looked really good for them, but they're just not able to quite hold on to this point for as long as they should. Bosch using actually a reskin of the regular Invis Watch, but going to grab a whole bunch of metal there and be perfectly fine. So we could see some interesting little backstabs. Nobody realizes that he has decloaked, and he's going to go for the tab. Hits the demo, doesn't manage to get the med, and usually you do want to get that med kill as the spy. Getting a demo is pretty cool. It allows the team to re-push here and maybe take the point. Sweet Southern Guy getting a little bit of pressure on him. But actually Typhus is down, and so there's not going to be a lot of heals for the red team right now. Playground Tactics may need to upgrade to something more like the locker room tactics as they grow up here, because they're in a little bit of trouble right now. They lost their med, and they did not cap the point after that spy pick. So there's a good pick on the demo, but when you lose your own med, what can you do? Rikachu looking to save Typhus, but no! Band of Angels with a sick kill that time around. Good rocket against the wall to finish off the med, and we've got a bit of a weird frame rate thing going on. No clue why the frame rate decided to die there, but all I can do is offer my sincerest apologies, and it's happening again. And I really hope this fixes itself soon, because we are going to have some spy-on-spy action. I would love to see spy-on-spy, and yet it's not fixing itself at all. Okay. I think I found some good memory locations, maybe. So, it is going to be spy versus spy, except the Bosch actually died for some reason, so I guess it's just going to be one spy. But Sunday Funday deciding, well, you want to try spy? Well, we can do the same thing with one of our own scouts here. The Burrito Man does get taken down, and so Sunday Funday suddenly losing their one food vendor, but they've still got their spy. And he actually doesn't see a lot of good kills to get. Plus, he's in some trouble now. He's disguised as a scout, and he got caught out. So, death be own ruler. I don't know what's going on. What I do know is that I really should not be allowed anywhere near a microphone, ever. Especially not for the purposes of rap or dropping sick rhymes in any sense of the word, because I can't do that. But we'll see what happens. Sunday Funday pushing right back onto the point here. They want to win this round. They actually have a good chance of doing it. They've got a good time advantage, and as long as they can keep this aggression up and not lose all their players, then they should be able to do things just fine. But if they do wipe out in this attack, then things are going to look really dire for them, because the times are going to get even, and that's such a bad position to be in when you don't own the point. Plus, they do wipe out, so this actually is looking really good for the playground tactics. I think they are going to have this. Because look what happens here. Sunday Funday, they've got to make another push, only they're going to have an uber disadvantage. So they're going to lose a lot of players in this attack. It's going to be very difficult for them to cap the point. Times are already going to be even. If they fail to capture the point, this round almost certainly goes to their opponents. And even if they successfully capture it, their opponents could just retreat and then recap right away with a 100% uber. So we're going to see if maybe Raze can make something happen here with the spy again. Going for the demo pick, and somehow that worked, even though it was totally a sidestab and not like a backstab. But whatever, Valve decided to code it that way. The Uber does now pop, so actually this forward hold here may have saved Sunday Funday. Normally you would expect to see a forward hold do the opposite and kind of like shut them down. But really a more conservative game here, I think, would have actually really helped. A nice kill there by Raze, taking down the med, cutting off that retreat route. A more conservative game by Playground Tactics, if they had just, forced their opponents to take a little bit of damage and dropped back and dropped back and dropped back and kept their uber, they would have been able to walk right back in and recapture the point. Now, they're actually looking at a huge disadvantage because they didn't get the med. They lost their own. Raze going for this sort of semi-stair stab, and in fact does get a stair stab on Typhus. So this round suddenly is looking really good for Sunday Funday. They pop the crits, and I like it. I like the way these things are going. So there was some good spy play coupled with Sunday Funday taking advantage of their opponent's kind of mistaken tactics there. The playground tactics ain't working anymore, kids. Gotta upgrade to maybe like what do kids do after they stop going to the playground? I guess they just go to more class, which is kind of lame. You can't call it the lunch hour tactics, because it's not even an hour anymore, is it? It's more like, you get half an hour, and then the teachers are all like, now get back into the classroom. It depends on where you go, I suppose. But that round probably stings a little bit for Playground Tactics, because they thought they had it, and all of a sudden Sunday Funday are looking pretty solid here. So, plus I feel really good about making a prediction that actually worked out there. Or it sort of worked out. Whatever. I feel smart, and feeling smart's pretty cool. Playground Tactics getting pressured off the point right now. They have lost their spy, so they did bring a spy out at the beginning, which is a little bit weird. That's probably why they didn't cap that point, because it's tough to win a mid-fight when you're down a scout, especially on Viaduct. Viaduct, you kind of need those scouts. They are very effective at being mobile and getting behind the enemy med, and then getting uber sawed and giving the enemy med and uber. So that is what just happened there. The Recess team is looking pretty solid, capturing after less than 30 seconds of their opponents holding the point. Gamma does have an uber, though, so they can push this anytime they want to. They're going to wait for the respawn to come up, that nice little respawn wave. And they actually just got a kill there, maybe 2 kills, but Sweet Southern guy... That sweet Southern guy died a little bit earlier. Still, a nice little uber push, and if they can get just 1 or 2 more kills, especially if it's the med... Uh-oh. Don't want to give the enemy med too much of an uber. But there you go. That's a med pick. And the med pick means that Sunday Funday are going to have a nice uber advantage to defend this point. So they're looking really solid right now, despite the tree's negative vibe going on. They're they're able to make these Uber pushes very effective. And I think part of that is their opponents maybe are just making mistakes. Maybe they're too caught up, really, trying to order delicious burritos to realize exactly how they should be positioned. I'm catching them out of position quite a lot, where their med isn't able to get away. Of course, this is the kind of thing I would do in a pug. I would be completely out of position and die every time the enemy pushes. But for an open team seeded number 8, you kind of expect a little bit more. So, of course, they are dropping back now, which is a fairly standard thing to do against an enemy that has 100% Uber advantage. But they also need to suicide in a couple players, try to force the Uber quickly, and if that doesn't work, then they're in a little bit of trouble. So the suicide needs to be a very effective one. Or they could, they could just try to play it straight. And in fact, what they're doing is a combination of both. They're using a sniper to try and force the Uber or get the drop early and then make a big significant push here. They almost have an Uber of their own, so they can afford to use that Uber, try to take some ground, maybe force the enemy Uber, do a little bit of Uber dance. The Uber dance is a cute dance. It's a dance where nobody hurts each other and everybody looks silly. Just kind of dances around. We're gonna see an Uber dance. There you go. Actually, somebody is gonna hurt somebody else here. Fave gets taken down, and so does Raze. So that Uber was not terribly effective for the blue team. A nice effective one for the red team, though. They needed that, and they needed the kill on the heavy. A nice headshot there, fully charged headshot from Sun, with all those N's at the end of his name. And you see, this is good play from Funday. They saw they were losing the point, and they made sure they didn't lose their med, which is more than I can say for the last retreat that we saw out of Playground. Now, it's not that Playground has... I don't even remember what I was talking about, because there's a bunch of weird frame rate lag again, which is getting a little bit annoying. But we do have Raze once again on the sniper, or the spy. The spy, it's one of those S classes. There is a sniper out still, though. It's Sun, and he's looking for some kills. Does end up dropping off of that little Justin spot. I think it's called the Justin spot. It's a nice little spot where you can actually get some pretty good... Oh, Raze gets the kill. I picked the wrong assassin class to watch. Typhus down, and Typhus, I think, had an Uber advantage, so that's going to be a pretty big deal. There needs to be a lot more spy checking. I'm just going to be straight up right now. Both these teams have been using spies to the point where it's like, yeah, you kind of need to be spy checking, because there's no excuse. Sun is the only one left alive for his team now, and that does mean that Funday are going to get the point captured. They aren't going to lose their med either. I guess their med just may have respawned, though, so Gamma is going to have an even Uber to Typhus. We'll see if either one of them is using the crits in a minute. I wouldn't think so. Oh, no, yeah, Gamma's totally using the crits. So we are going to see some critical Krieg action pretty soon here, as Star might say. And I do love Star. He's a pretty hilarious entertainer, I gotta say. I love watching his vids. They're good stuff. I wish I could be like him. It's okay, though. I do enjoy my competitive TF2 and the stuff I do right here on SalTV. The tree taking a bunch of enemies out, and Gamma is looking to continue that streak here. If they can get the crits ready in time, they should be good to go. They might not even have to use it here. 10 seconds left, though. They probably will, just to make sure they save the point and kill all the enemies coming in after it. So I would expect to see that. Yep, popped right now. We'll see if any of these crit stickies can do any damage, and it doesn't even matter because there you go. It's 2-1 Funday. So the lower seeded team is actually doing a really good job. By the way, hang on. Whoa, hold up here. Did we... Oh no, it's stopped jiggling altogether. Instead of being like a super fast jiggle bone hat like it usually is on my computer, it's like a 0 jiggle hat. Slow-mo jiggling maybe, but we don't even get to see that. It's like geological timescale jiggles. Whatever. Funday getting out aggressive on the point once again, taking advantage of the damage that their soldiers and Demo Man are putting out. They've gotten quite a few kills so far, including the enemy Demo, which is a pretty important one. The scout's going down now, so they're going to lose the ability to flank very effectively. And the point will get captured by Funday. So they're staying in it. I do like to see that. I like to see a scrappy team, the one that may actually go pretty far here in the lower bracket. Now, they've got a long road ahead of them if they ever want to try to win Open outright, which I think there's a small cash prize for winning. It's not huge, but it's better than nothing for playing TF2. And of course, they get the potential to be promoted to IM. Oh, what a shot by Audrey Heartburn, though. So, of course, both teams are in the same position. I should say that it's not just Funday in this position, but both teams have a long road ahead. They're going to have to go through like 5 rounds of lower bracket just to get for the chance to get into the upper bracket finals. I'm sorry, the Grand Championship, whatever you call it. It's one of those really important matches that decides who is first place, because this is a double elimination tournament, and both teams are in the losers bracket. So, like we said earlier, of course, whichever team here loses is knocked out of the tournament. But that's the case for every single game they play. So they need to win like 5 games in a row here against increasingly difficult opponents just to get a chance. So that's going to be fun to watch and see if they can get anywhere. I don't know if that'll be the case. I don't know which team is going to do what here. Is fave behind enemy lines or behind their own lines? No, behind their own lines. Okay, not interesting. Sorry, it's better when a scout can be behind the enemy line. Oh, got some scout fighting going on, but it does look like suddenly Sunday Funday getting crushed here a little bit under the weight of a red Uber. And the Playground Tactics want to make sure they hold on to their spot in the tournament as well. This is a tense game. Both teams want to make sure that they can stay in and fight another day. Literally, another day, not today. Actually, as I say this, I think whichever team wins this is probably playing another match, like right now. So we'll see if that one turns out to be any good. But for now, Raze is on the spy once again. Raze, are you going to get another wicked kill? No, in fact, Sun and Bosch are just going to destroy you. That's too bad. But that's one of the things that Tyrone, the classic invite soldier from LG, Tyrone loves to say about the spy is that I love watching spy because regardless of what he does, it's either going to be really awesome or just really hilariously bad. Sun getting in on the med right now and a nice kill there. But the rest of his team is pretty much dead to that Kritzkrieg. So Sunday Funday will recapture the point, and they've still got about a minute deficit. So they need to hold on to this for a minute just to be tied with their opponents right now. It's a pretty decent position and a pretty decent Uber advantage, crits advantage, I should say, to the Playground Tactics team. But they did get ambushed there and lose their demo man, which kind of sucks. Ray's happy about that one. He may have spotted the Kritzkrieg as well. But I think his team will be ready for that anyway. It's a fairly obvious thing to do when you have an Uber advantage to go Kritzkrieg, because you just cement that advantage and make sure your opponents cannot get a crits in time for you to have your Uber or whatever the case is. Typhus is at 70% right now, so we're going to see him pop that on the demo pretty soon. Rikachu watching for the sticky traps, deciding he doesn't like that. And Blue just took a bunch of damage, not sure exactly how, but he was finished off by Bosch. And Rikachu, oh, there goes the Kritzkrieg right away. But Typhus is taken down, and that crits didn't do anything. So yeah, I think the blue team really did know that was going to happen. Of course, they do lose the point, but they are ready to pop right back in here. Probably going to use a regular Uber, and that does mean, of course, they get to keep a bunch of players alive. You saw Rikachu bomb in there, and by the time he had jumped in, he realized the Uber was there, but he was like, oh, it's too late. Can't really change trajectory now. Not in any significant, meaningful way. So Rikachu just ended up dying against an Uber with nothing accomplished. Through a windshield, you say, Scouts. Were you guys around back when Valve added some new dialogue lines, but they kind of botched the probability for those lines to be said? So it was like every single game I casted, the Scout would say that like a billion times. It's like I'm watching you fly through a windshield. Were you around for that? If you weren't around for that, well, maybe you should have been, because it was awesome. Oh, the burrito man, delivering burritos and tasty, tasty rockets to his opponents there over on the flank. Things are looking good right now for Sunday Funday. 30 seconds left to go, so they have actually defeated their opponents in time for the moment. Typhus is just building the Uber up, and that's so nice of you, Demo Man, but I don't feel the same way. We do have the Playground Tactics. They really only have time for one last push here, as there is 10 seconds left on the clock for their opponents. So here it comes. They do want to pop the Uber first, but their opponents have an Uber as well, and if they can just stand there on the point, they're going to keep it in overtime for a little while. But even then, yeah, there are going to be people trying to stand on the point, but it does not matter. That fraction of a second, that was all they needed, and that is actually the halftime. 3-1 for Sunday Funday. So we just had the world's shortest halftime, which is pretty cool. I'm a big fan of short halftimes. It doesn't give me a lot of time to rest and recuperate, but that's okay. And I do say, it sounds really stupid. It's just like, oh, you get tired after casting, huh, Sal? Wow, what a tough job. But a nice jump in by Fan. He didn't get the kill, though. Typhus actually grabbing a health kit, so it'll be okay. But because of allergies, and because the more I move my mouth, the more it makes my nose itch, and the more it activates my allergies, it actually is kind of exhausting to cast. I'm not gonna lie. After about an hour of casting, I just want to go lie down and not do anything. So Kind of makes me feel a little silly saying it, but that's how it is. Funday, though, ready to maybe re-push here. They want to capture the point. They don't want to let their opponents get too much time on this. Doing some good spam from the high ground right now. Both soldiers from Funday. That's going to be Fan of Angels and the Burrito Man. And so they're going to start trying to cap right now. They have, of course, taken a bunch of good position, and they actually forced their opponents to pop and multi-Uber here. Multi-Uber being flashing the Uber to multiple targets. Which is really good for them because it gave them a good Uber exchange. They're still on the point. They're still getting a bunch of kills. Sweet Southern guy has a lot of health left, and he may be able to try and turn things around. But against so many players, there's not a lot he can do. He gets a 1 kill there on Fievel, who's trying to chase him down. But what a sick flank route. The Burrito Man, not delivering burritos anymore. He is just delivering pain. And that was a beautiful play. Now, Sun is going to come and try to kill the med, but gets popped up into the air. His aim does not quite catch up there, and Gamma needs to go grab a health kit. Meanwhile, Raze is on the spy. So this is starting to look like a pretty good round for Funday as well. They might actually bring this to a 4-1 victory against their opponents, who were really the 8th seed, like 8 seeds above them. And not that that means a heck of a lot in ESEA Open, but it means a little bit. It means they won more games throughout the season. I never check these teams' records to see if they actually, if one team beat the other. Ray's getting some heals from the med, but I think he realized he was caught out there, and yeah, he is in some trouble right now. Going for the stair stab, not going to happen, and now trying to stab his opponent. Now, if you do recall on the recent episode of the podcast that I did with Stabby on it, if you haven't seen that yet, by the way, you really should, he said that disguising as a scout is actually a really cool thing to do because even though your hitbox technically stays in the same place, disguising as a scout puts your visible head, the scout head, down around your chest level. So it's much harder to get those headshots and to really understand the hitbox. Ray's going to go ahead and probably just respawn as a scout again here after that failed attempt. But he, at the very least, kept his opponents on their toes, and now Funday are in the lead on time. They're not in the lead on Ubers, and they have to watch out for this this sniper coming in after him. Gamma trying to surf, and Rikachu got a nice kill on Fan of Angels. Gamma somehow still alive, but no, jumps right into that last rocket there by Audrey Heartburn. And Audrey did a nice little job there getting the kills. So, the Playground crew are trying to cap this back. They got a little bit of trouble coming in, but Fievel will be taken out there, so no more going west for you. Instead, you're going south, all the way down to as far south as you can go. Hades! Hades is what I'm getting at. Actually, I don't think Hades was considered to be south in Greek mythology. It was more like you cross the river Styx, and then you meet up with some weird ghosts, and they, like, I don't know, they start making you play games. I think that's how it works. But it's not TF2 type games. It's like more boring games. What could be more boring than TF2, you ask? Well, lots of stuff. I'm glad you asked. Okay, so I don't know where I was going with that, really, except to say that TF2 is pretty exciting. But Fan of Angels gets taken down in exchange for Audrey Heartburn, so 2 soldiers down. Typhus gets eaten alive, though, and now everybody almost on the Playground Tactics team has died. Rikachu going for a headshot, but gonna miss that one, and that means that the Burrito Man spots him out, gets the kill, and nothing in exchange for Playground Tactics. They're in some trouble right now. They're in some trouble, as their opponents still have a lead in the time. And at this point, with a minute left to go and 100% Uber advantage, it's going to require a minute, I think, just for the blue team to get a capture, unless they do something crazy like actually forcing a drop out of Gamma right now. So we might just see Funday win it. They might continue on as the 16th seed and still have a chance to stay in this tournament. It's looking pretty good so far. Now, they are starting to give up a little bit of ground here. They don't want to pop the Uber until they absolutely have to save the point. Oh, Fan of Angels getting taken down, though. That's not going to help them defend this point. The Burrito Man down as well. No soldiers left, and that's actually losing a lot of versatility. And yet, the tree does so much damage with those stickies right now. Fievel trying to help chase down some damage. And no, Typhus gets taken out. The tree is going insane right now. Rikachu is going to try and finish things off over here as the rest of his team caps the point, but not even able to kill the med. Gamma gets away with about 75 health, grabbed that health kit, and will continue to heal. So going to have an Uber advantage for now. The Burrito Man's down, though, and flanks are probably still a little bit open. Fan of Angels trying to keep the med defended, and Gamma's getting up there in the health. So I just realized this, but is Gamma actually like a play on words on Sigma? Is this like Sigma's alt account or something? I don't know. Whatever. Probably not. Fan of Angels knocked out of the air there by a sniper's bullet. And Rikachu's doing a decent job on sniping. It's just not what they need right now. They need a little bit more in the way of headshots, especially headshotting the medic. They've only gotten maybe one med headshot the entire game. And there you go, Funday going to grab the point again. Basically, if you're playing sniper and you're not getting, about 1 kill every 10 seconds, you probably ought to be playing another class. Like the scout or the soldier, whatever, just because you get so much more versatility. And there you go, Funday very close to winning this game. They just have to stop the overtime desperation push. They aren't going to be able to do that quite yet, though. Getting a bunch of kills now, and Sweet Southern Guy is going to die. There you go. They actually do get all those kills. So unless the next respawner in the next second can get out here, no, they're calling GG right now. Bosch is going to try and make his way out here, I think, but that just might be it, ladies and gentlemen. And there you go. That's it. Funday win. They stay in the tournament. Congratulations to them. And, of course, do subscribe here at youtube.com/fatmop. And if you want to know the story of the name Fatmop, well, I can give it to you because we're going to put in a little bit of anti-spoiler time here. Just because I know you want it. I know that you don't want to know who wins this game by looking at the time. Whatever. Yeah? No? Okay, well, anyway, the story of the name Fatmop, it's not terribly interesting, but it's worth telling because people keep asking. So, like 13 years ago, my little brother was playing Final Fantasy VII while I was sitting there on the computer next to him and talking to people on AIM or something that kids do when they're 10 years old. And so he's playing Final Fantasy VII. He catches a chocobo, the first time he's done this. And of course, the game has been asking him to name characters along the way, but then it asks him to name this chocobo, and he's just like, whatever, I don't even care about this, I just want to play the game. He's one of those kind of kids who really did not immerse himself in the fantasy aspect of the game. He was more interested in the gameplay, I think. So, he didn't care about what the heck this chocobo was named. So he just twirled the analog stick a whole bunch on the keyboard and pressed select seemingly at random until the word Fatmop came out. Because it was only 6 characters long, so Fatmop is what he got, totally at random. And of course, my brothers and I all thought this was hilarious. I decided to use that as my AIM screen name, Fatmop, and then everything just kind of snowballed from there. So I just kept using the name Fatmop, and that is where it came from. Anyway, I do hope that you enjoyed the little story, and I hope that you enjoy my videos, because my videos are pretty cool. I think I like them a lot, even though I don't watch most of them. I don't actually go back and watch my own videos. I just want you to know that I don't have the time to sit down and watch and critique every single video. So I do rely a lot on the comments and feedback that I get. And some of the critical feedback is actually really, really useful. So I got some recently from Comedian. You guys know Comedian. He is, of course, one of the head honchos at Vanilla TF2, doing a fantastic job over there right now. They are looking really solid on the casting front, regularly pulling a big number of viewers. So I'm glad to see that. They're experiencing some serious growth. But Comedian left some feedback on the most recent post-produced cast that I did. That one Highlander match where I split it in 3 videos and had another cameraman find all the best angles. And he was pointing out some flaws in the camera work, and of course he was going over some of the stuff that was like, yes, it's hard to make post-produced stuff work really well because it's so much of a time investment. I was like, yeah, well, people are willing to do it for me, so that's cool. Beater being the one who most recently did that video. But yeah, I appreciate constructive, helpful feedback, criticisms especially, that are like, okay, well, you could have gotten this, or you could have done that, or you could have done that. I take it all on board. And sometimes I have to know, I have to say, okay, well, I can't really do anything about, this or that. I can't change this, I can't change that. But whatever I can change, I try to make it pretty quick. I do try. So, thank you once again for watching SalTV. Hopefully I've put enough anti-spoiler time in here to satisfy all the kiddos. So I'll see you later.